September 2013 update 3, and I'm going to show you what we've done so far the past week. They're still doing some work up there, but mostly it's been looking for leaks again. And in case you're wondering, no, we have not done the federal hydro yet. We've done other hydros to lead us up to that point, so that way we will be ready for that, but I'm still not allowed to tell you the date, so keep on guessing. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty soon still. They mounted up a bracket here on the end, and this will be one of the brackets that will hold on to the top of the ash pan. As you can see, the grate bearers, these are the big grates in here. This one closest to us has the air openings in it, and the one behind it, which you can't really see from this angle, you can see it shallow there, does not have the holes in it. So those are both in there. They're ready to see for the rest of the grates to go in, which will go along the sides here into that one bracket back there. And there'll be the bars running across the top here in the slots there, and then everything will be connected to the shakers at the end, which are controlled inside the cab. We got the fire hose hooked up here to the inlet pipe for the injector, and this is basically how we get water into the boiler now. This would be a good way to do it if there was no tender attached as well, but pretty soon that's going to be, all the water connections are going to be connected anyway. As you can see, there's no hose in between the engine and tender yet. Neither is there one on the other side, but pretty soon there will be. And speaking of brackets, they did some more. They did another. They did dye the studs there at the bottom, so they can make new ones for the ash pan. Over here, you may have seen them maybe last year. I think I went out to the pile that had some of the engine's stuff in it. These are the sides of the old ash pan, and it looks like, based on the grinding that's been going on here to make them smooth, where they cut them, they're going to be reusing the sides and just building a new bottom to the pan, which I'm sure, based on what they've cut off this already, was pretty much worn, rusted through. And you're basically seeing, this would be what you'd see on the outside anyway, and that's not really going to change. Just the bottom that you're not going to see that's going to attach to the hopper is going to change. I think this is one of those pieces that would attach to the middle where the hopper for the ash as it goes, in between the rear truck. And I believe that's what that is. It's been cut up a bunch, so I don't know. They probably won't. I don't know if they'll even save this part. This part might be the one that they need to make a whole new piece for. So, yeah, Cinder's over there eating his dinner. Yeah, so that's what we got in here so far. And about the jacketing, remember that steam pipe's underneath there, so we got this piece of jacketing on the smoke box, but the rest of it is, of course, not on. That'll be put on after the steam test. Now, I got the question, I forget who asked it, but the jacketing for the locomotive, as far as I know, is all stored in one of the box cars outside, along with some other parts of the engine that have not been put on, smaller parts and things of that nature. And actually, what we're supposed to do, aside from the jacking that goes around the smoke box, the part with the builder's plate on it, the rest of it supposedly is going to be all brand new. And what we're going to do is, we got a guy who, before he retired, he lagged and jacketed boilers in big factories. So if he wants to do this locomotive too, he's just got to get the sheet metal around. Actually, the old jacketing is two pieces. It would go and attach at the top and the very bottom of the boiler. He wants to make it in 4 sections, so that way it'll be easier for us to work on. And you're not going to notice the difference because the attachments are going to be right underneath the gangway, the catwalk up there. So you're not going to know any difference. Really, I think if there's any salvageable pieces of it, he'd cut those in half and put them on the barrel as they are. But anyway, we got some new brass lines on the other side that I'll show you too in the next section. Up in the cab now, tried to get the light to shine on some of the gauges here. Still more dark on this side than I want it to be, but I don't have a flashlight with me, unfortunately. I have a different truck, but you can still kind of see the steam pressure gauge on there. I haven't shined it up at all. Still some pieces on the back head that need to be worked on. The washout plugs, maybe a few stay bolts that they're checking to make sure they're not leaking anymore. And then all that, once all the leaks have been found and hopefully put the water back in, not find any more, that whatever we welded on will be repainted. So we still got the engineer's sight glass in here, but the fireman's one has been removed. I think there might be a piece broken on it. There's some broken glass here, a glass tube next to it. There, I came in here and there's glass all over the floor. No one else is here right now. It's just me in the back shop. We got Butch outside working on the miniature railway, trying to put that back together for some fall events. And then there's people at the visitor center watching the place. But it's mostly just me back here trying to clean up from the week's work. Tried to vacuum in the cab window areas here, especially in the trim for the windows, because those got dirty again. And looking out the window here, you see up by that pipe, the water pipe there, you see the new copper just in front of it, and the lines run down. And not much else has changed in here, except now they got the window opener. Well, it's more of a hatch opener for the big hatch up there. And basically how this works is you just turn it like a regular valve, and there it goes. And it's connected to the gear on the hatch door there. Turn it back so it's open. So we got some good ventilation going in here. We're working on it. Anyway, yeah, so not much has changed in the cab. I did, like I said, I vacuumed last week, and you saw that video. And I came in here, and there was another mess in here, so I redid it again. Really, I wouldn't be so anal about it, but glass all over the floor and more metal shards from the drilling process has been done. Oh, I forgot to mention on the side here, the side panels on the cab had been mounted, and some of the holes need to be re-drilled on the side there to fit the new bolts in. And you see the door here got for the ventilation, and that's basically what that is. Allows the air to flow into the cab because there's of course no air conditioning. And I tried to get this trim as much as possible too. I was using a brush and I brushed it toward the vacuum, trying to get all that crap in there out. So yeah, and we had the brake test already. I think I may have mentioned that in the last update too. So I guess the brakes all work now. And anything else in here I can see that they did last week they didn't tell me about, not that I know of. I did do some vacuuming up here on the tender, trying to get some of that done too. Okay, we're on the fireman's side now, and you can kind of see the shadow of the other grate barrier here. And just like on the other side, there'll be the other grate on the side to connect along with it to the shakers back here. Still haven't got all the bricks mounted yet. They're just those 4 in there, and the newer ones in here in front of the 126. And like I said before, I'm going to get a review on this once I get more information from Barney. I should know most of it by now. Nothing's really changed back here. Still got to do some work in the tender. You see those new lines that are stretching up there. Might have to do some more up here too. Anyway, we're getting ready for the installation of the superheaters, but that should come after the federal hydro test, that we make sure all the tubes inside aren't leaking, nor is any of the stable to the back. So, but either way, the scaffolding is here now in front, just to do the placement. Pretty sure that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna do the hydro first, and then mount the superheaters in there. I still gotta wipe the face off here. It's not so much that it would be clean, it's just that I like to see if there's any more leaks coming out of there, because that's the main thing that you're looking for. When the engine went down in November 2009, the last run it did, when the tubes broke on it, the water started coming out here, and that's how we knew that there was a big problem there. It also started leaking in the firebox itself, of course. So it was a big deal there that something was wrong with it, but hopefully we could get that cleaned off, and if there is any problem, it'd show us again. So let's see, we're trying to get the shop a little bit more cleaned up here and get it all ready to go. I'm going to take you outside and show you the car, the combine, and what parts are left in it. So while we've got the two cars parked next to one another here, I'm in the old tool car, the green tool car, in case you're wondering, the former World War II troop sleeper that was later converted by the Pere Marquette, so you know, to run as a tool car for railroad crane. And we got a bunch of stuff in here. We got some pieces from the 76 in here. I believe this is what we're looking for. This is some of the jacketing from the 1225 itself in here, and it's pretty obvious that it's got to be from the 1225 because it's so big. These pieces are in pretty good shape. They might be reused. You got some of the bands that go around the sections of jacketing too on the boiler and help tension and hold them together. We also got a bunch of Christmas decorations and holiday stuff in here that we're having stored right now. It's really not as bad of a mess as it used to be. It hasn't been out on any runs since 2005, so it's pretty good now that we got it cleaned out. Now we want to reuse it again. This thing here is, I'm pretty sure it looks like it, is actually the steam jet for the blower inside of the 1225. As you can see, here's the connection to the pipe that's inside the smoke box that just goes nowhere right now. And actually what it does is it goes into this tube thing here and shoots the jets. They're on the other side of it in there. Pretty sure. Yep. These things. There's holes in these things that look like spikes, and that shoots the steam out up the smokestack and creates a draft on the fire when the engine's not moving to help the fire burn better. This I believe is the locomotive's nozzle, and that will be mounted to the bottom of the exhaust, the steam exhaust inside the smoke box. We'll exit out this and shoot up the smokestack. The bellows shaped thing known as the petticoat will go over this and allow smoke to come up in through the tubes, and when the steam shoots out of this, it creates the draft out the smokestack to pull the smoke out the smokestack when it goes. Has some other parts here, some I'm not sure what that is. Once we get it installed, I'll know for sure. Okay, now I'm going to jump across here into the combine, which is currently a storage car. It's been used the past few years. The engine ran as a tool car itself / crew car, and I brought you in here last year to show you all the parts laying around, and really there's not as much left. This is the collar that goes around the safety valves or pop valves on top of the locomotive. And you saw in one of the updates, I think it was the first update this month, where the pop valves are all capped off by the caps that say Michigan State University Railroad Club. Got some more pieces here. There's some sort of jacketing and other jacketing pieces here. I thought the bulk of them were in a boxcar, but it seems like there's a couple piles in the tool car and now this car. So we still got, this is the feed water handle for the water pump. This is supposed to go to the engineer. This one goes across the back head and connects to that brass piece that's on the fireman side. Got some more pipes here. This is Stoker exhaust. What we got in these bags is different smaller parts. We got brass pieces in here, and here we got some stainless steel stuff. Let's see, for lifting steam dome, clean tapped holes first. Okay, some more pieces here. Going into the back, the baggage section of the combine here. Some more, here are the connection hoses between the locomotive and tender. And we got the cover plate for the air pump on the fireman's side, which was removed so that we can open the big smoke box door. Now it'll be going on once we close that out for good. And here we have the cover for the steam dome. And it's got the hole in it, although it looks like it's been kind of damaged in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's got kind of an uneven spot there. That's where that valve sticks up at the top of the steam dome cover. That actually comes out of the main cover itself, which will be put in with the jacketing. Here's a few more pieces. I believe this is the smoke box jacketing, and that's definitely the part that we'll be reusing. Got some seal tape right there, and some other part. We got an old stove in here too. Doesn't work. Another dynamo. I believe that one might go on the 76. Not sure, but just some other small parts in here. So if you remember last time, these shelves on here were all full of stuff that were 1225 parts, and they're indeed all over the floor, and they had to be spread out. Just a few more parts left. And this section, of course, had a bunch of parts too that need to be protected that were in here. And now all we got, these are the buddy seats that go behind the engineer and fireman, where they sit. So really, this car has gotten all cleaned out. And the parts that are we're less worried about are in the box cars, or one of the box cars that is here on site. And let's see, I guess I can show you down here. Here's the turntable pit. Move the caboose over here. This with the thing with the open car. We moved the other passenger cars around for the fall color trips. This stuff is going to be ready for the shorter trips that the 126 will do this fall and next spring, I guess. Trying to show you all the parts from the engine. Here's the old cab floor, which will be scrapped pretty soon. Still trying to make sure we got all the dimensions off of it that we need. These are some track parts we have laying around here. Basically, in this area is where the where the Great Bears were before we put them back in, and they're pretty big, so they had to stay out here. I just this afternoon sprayed some of all these weeds down here. Hopefully they'll all be dead and defoliated next week when I come out to trim. So yeah, the caboose is here and the open car is here. I think both Ann Arbor cabooses will be cleaned, washed on the outside and cleaned up on the inside for North Pole Express when that happens. We got some more pieces over here, but those are mostly for the passenger cars that we got. Got the barrels moved around, take care of some stuff. Trying to move everything around here and get new spots for them, keep them all sealed up and safe. But other than that, we are coming right along, and you saw all the parts. I think that's it. I'll try and get an update on the box cars themselves and the other freight cars when I can. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching September Update 3.